Hey everyone. Yesterday, I finally got to see the Guillermo Del Toro produced film Mama. And unless you were living under a rock, you could not miss the marketing of this film. I mean, if you watch TV, you saw the commercials everywhere. On the internet, you saw the commercials everywhere. So I live in New York City, so the subways had the posters for it, there were billboards. I mean, this film really marketed itself pretty damn well. I haven't seen a horror film marketed this much in a very long time. Um, and judging by the crowd I was with, I went to see a noon showing yesterday, and the theater was pretty much 95% full. I mean, this film is gonna make money this weekend. So, and I don't know what I was expecting with this movie. The trailers made it look pretty good, but then I just got annoyed by the trailers because there was so much content coming at me. And I sat there, it's a 100-minute movie, and you know what? I actually really liked it. I thought the movie was actually very, very good. Um, And before I get into why that is, let's talk about what the film is actually about. Mama begins with a man named Jeffrey, played by Nikolai Coster-Waldau, going off the deep end after he murdered his wife due to some sort of fiscal crisis. He kidnaps his two daughters, Victoria and Lily, but crashes his car in the woods and leaves them inside a cabin, where the two girls fend for themselves for 5 long years. Jeffrey's brother Lucas, played again by Nikolai Coster-Waldau, has been looking for his nieces ever since the incident, to the point of draining his bank account by hiring people to find them. One day, one of these searchers discovered Victoria, played by Megan Carpentier, and Lily, played by Isabel Nelise, inside his cabin, surviving on cherries and bugs as they have become feral. When Lucas is reunited with his nieces, he quickly files for custody of them. While this is great for him, his rocker girlfriend Annabelle, played by Jessica Chastain, isn't really thrilled by becoming a mom to these two little girls, especially since she has to quit her band just to raise them with Lucas. Annabelle's concern about being a pseudo mom to these girls grows as she has trouble helping them readjust to normal life again. Not only that, but the girls seem to be talking and playing with an imaginary friend they call Mama. However, Mama isn't imaginary, as she's a ghostly entity that has raised these girls in the woods and seems to have followed them. When the girls start to care for Annabelle, Mama becomes jealous, and all hell breaks loose. Like I mentioned earlier, I did enjoy Mama. It's not a perfect film, it does have flaws, but I think for the most part it does things right. And I wasn't really sure what to expect from this film, but I really dug it. I really did. I thought, it had a lot going for it. It actually reminded me of Asian horror films like The Ring, The Grudge, or for you snobs out there, Ringu and Juon. So, but yeah, it definitely had that vibe. And, I'm surprised this was a 3 minute short film. This originally was a 3 minute Spanish language short film, and it got extended to 100 minutes. And I thought they did an excellent job extending a 3 minute short into a feature film. Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed this. It has a lot going for it. Um, I would say, the acting I thought in this film was really, really good. I thought every person in this film did an excellent job. Jessica Chastain, who's really having a great year. She just won the Golden Globe for Zero Dark 30, which is an excellent film. She's probably a shoe-in to win that Best Actress Oscar. And no, she's actually very good here. She plays against type. She plays this kind of goth chick. She's a rocker. I think she's a bass player in the band, and I really enjoyed her character. And I love the way she plays her character. Usually in these kind of films, you have the mother figure. She's very maternal, very loving to the kids, and her character Annabelle isn't really that person. She's the first shot of her, she's happy that she's not pregnant. She's taking a pregnancy test and she's happy she's not pregnant. And throughout the film, she kind of feels burdened by these two little girls to the point where she's not abusive to them, but she's kind of like whatever, like go fuck yourself kind of attitude. Um, but eventually, as the film goes on, she becomes a lot more maternal as she spends time with these girls, and she becomes very protective of them. And I thought, that whole character arc and the way Chastain plays the arc was actually very good, and I really felt connected to her as a character, which is very rare in horror films these days. But I really enjoyed the performance. I also thought Nikolai Coster Waldo from Game of Thrones was actually good also as both characters, the Jeff the father and Lucas the uncle. He had this very likable quality about him. He wasn't the douchebag boyfriend which you usually see in these horror films. He was actually a very nice guy, very genuine. He cared about these girls, and I really thought his performance was very good. His accent came on off and on. I noticed it, but that's too bad. But the two stars of this film were really the two little girls who played Victoria and Lily. Megan Carpentier, I think her name is, played the older daughter of Victoria. I thought she was very good. Very mature performance, very grounded, very subtle. She came across as creepy at times, but eventually she became into a mature character. The little girl, Isabel Nellis, she was great. I thought she stole the show, in my opinion. No, not only was she creepy and disgusting, but she was very funny as well. So I really dug the two little girls in this film. Usually child actors kind of bug me, but these girls were solid and they really sell this film. They really carry it on their shoulders. I thought, the acting was very, very good. I thought the direction was actually very, very good. I loved the way this film looked. Looked very polished, looked very professional. The cinematography was stunning. I thought this film was gorgeous to look at. There were moments where you had these dreams and you had kind of blend into reality, and I thought those shots were edited very, very well. The composition and the framing of this film totally effective. I mean, there were moments where it's like a split screen, but it's not really split screen. Like there's parts inside the house, and you see the partition of the hallway, and one side is normal, and then the other side you have the real creepy stuff going on with the mama character, which I thought was not only kind of funny but also very cool. I thought that the way it was shot was just stunning, very well paced. Not the greatest CGI. I mean, like I said, it kind of reminded me of Asian horror with the whole CGI kind of deal. It kind of did look fake and cartoonish. Um, but I've seen worse. I mean, it's not like sci-fi channel level CGI, but it's definitely evident. You can't miss it. Yeah, I didn't hate it. If moved the story along. I mean, it gave it some sort of supernatural quality about the film, which was the point. But yeah, the CGI wasn't great, but everything else about the direction, the visuals was excellent. I thought it was a very beautifully shot film. As for the story itself, it's pretty generic. I mean, it's a pretty typical vengeful ghost story, but the characters are strong. They're very multi-dimensional, which is great. And the mystery of the mama character and how it leads to the conclusion, I thought was actually written very well. The dialogue was very good. I did think the final few moments of the film, like probably the last 15, 20 minutes of the film, weren't great. I think the opening section, like the first 80 minutes of the film, were actually pretty strong. Not perfect, but strong. But the last stuff that happened was actually, it kind of let the film down. It kind of fell apart at the end. I mean, it was just stuff that I just, it felt like it had to follow the horror conventions. It set up this very good story, but then it realized, it has to end a certain way because that's what people expect it to end in a horror film. So it kind of felt kind of forced. But was it a bad conclusion? No, but it wasn't as strong as the opening moments of the film. I did like the fact that I did not have a Hollywood ending. Take that for what you will. I won't spoil the ending for you. But I thought that was a plus. I thought the story was okay. It wasn't anything new, anything original, but at least it told a good story. It was well told. I was entertained by the story. I was invested in the story. The scares in this film, there are a lot of jump scares, and a lot of people I know hate jump scares. There's tension, there's suspense, but it really relies on things popping up at the screen to scare you. And the audience I was with, people did jump. I jumped maybe once or twice. I mean, it was moments where you know something was coming, but you didn't know when it was coming. And I thought they did a good job with those jump scares. What else did not like? I did not like this aunt character in the film. There's a character in the film. She's an aunt of the two girls, and she wants to take custody away from Annabelle and Lucas. And no, she's pretty much a bitch. I mean, she comes to the house one day, I think it was a visitation day, and she sees bruises on the girls. And The parents are not abusing the girls just because they're playing with mama and she's kind of rough with them in a playful way. And the aunt believes that the girls are getting abused, so she's like calling child services and she breaks into the house to take pictures of the girls. I mean, this woman was just annoying and really she wasn't needed in the film. I understand why she was in the film because you kind of need an antagonist other than the monster itself, but she just seemed to pop in and out like sporadically. I mean, it was just like, oh, I forgot about this woman. And also, she's popping up, taking over a certain scene. So it's like she did nothing for me. I just didn't like her at all. I just thought she wasn't needed at all. As for the monster itself, the mama character, I really liked the backstory to the character. It was nice to see a sympathetic villain again this year. But I kind of felt bad for the character. I'm not gonna spoil why I feel bad for the character, but I understood why this character was doing what it was doing, and that means that this story was told very well. Because I understood everything that happened. I understood why people did what they did. I understood why the girls acted the way they did. And that's good storytelling. I mean, I understood everything. I never felt really confused about anything, except for maybe why there are butterflies or moths around. I'm sure there's a symbolism there somewhere, but I didn't really understand it. I wish it was explained. And it's never really explained why there are butterflies around, why Mama takes the form of a butterfly. Yeah, other than that, I thought the film was actually pretty strong. I think this is the best film of 2013 so far, which isn't saying a whole lot. I actually enjoyed it. I don't feel like I was ripped off when I went to see this in theaters. The crowd I was with, excellent crowd. They fell for everything this film was giving them. So I thought this film was pretty strong. I would probably buy this on DVD or Blu-ray. I really think this film was great. I liked this film. It wasn't perfect. It had issues. I mean, it was just a good ghost story. So I'll give it a 3 out of 4. I thought, it was a good film. Excellent acting, beautiful picture, composition, framing, great directing. A generic, but it told a good story. I really dug it. I really was affected by it. I was very surprised how good this was. So yeah, that's my review, my babbling of Mama. And I definitely say if you're interested in a kind of film like this, if you like Asian horror, if you like ghost stories, if you like Jessica Chastain, who's very good in this film, definitely check it out. So that's my review. Take care. Later.